Hey guys, welcome to our social media training. I have Tiffany Pifer on here with me we're gonna kind of just go back and forth and give you guys as much as we possibly can about social media, hopefully in about an hour. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of stuff to learn if you really wanna make a lot of money on social media. So we're gonna try to fly through it, but we're also gonna try to answer as many questions as we possibly can. So utilize the chat. We might not get to it until the very end, but we want this to be a resource that we can have on the team page for months and months to come. We know that social media is always changing, but we want this to kind of be our all-inclusive video to help you guys with Instagram and Facebook and just kind of understanding how it works so that you can make a lot of money using it. So I want y'all to know that some of you that are brand new, take everything with a grain of salt. It's going to be a lot. There's going to be stuff if you're brand new that you're going to find really helpful. And if you've been in for 5-6 years, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you're going to find really helpful. All of this information is coming from two people that work this business full time. So we want y'all to know that when we started, we had normal pages. We didn't have all of this extra knowledge. This is just stuff that we learned. And maybe you'll only be able to implement 10% of what we tell you tonight. It's still going to help you in the long run. And as you become more successful and as you have more time, you can come back to this video and you can start implementing more things that we showed you. So try to stay tuned in the whole time. We kind of have it like broken up into segments. But the other thing that I realized and why we decided to do this is because in the past, I feel like there were things that I didn't necessarily post or I only shared with certain groups of people on the page because I didn't want to scare people off. I didn't want to tell them all the different ways that you can build the business because I didn't want them to freak out. But here's the thing. What we have to tell you tonight, some of the things that we're going to show you, it could make a world of difference for someone watching this. So I don't want to hold something back just because I think it might overwhelm someone that's brand new. I want you guys to have access to anything I do, anything I have that helps me build this business. So the other thing I want you to know before we go into all of this is that posting isn't asking. We're going to talk a lot about posting, but we're also going to talk about messaging. There's so many things you can do to improve your posts and all of that. But if any of this information stops you from taking action, take a step back and know that the most important thing you can do for your business is actually doing the things, okay? There's lots of trainings and lots of info, but you've actually got to put the things in place and use them. This is just to enhance your social media business. It's not meant to make you freeze and freak out, okay? So that being said, we wanted to just go over some basics that apply to Facebook and Instagram and just the overall things that you need to know. So Tiffany, do you want to share a little bit about like being personal, that kind of part of it?
Yes. So when you are doing this type of business, you want to be as personal as possible. It's really easy to just want to post all about the products and all about the business and, grab certain, business post or even like a cleanse post and throw it all on your pages. But you kind of get lost in your post and you don't want to do that. You don't want people to come to your post and quickly judge the fact of what you do. You want people to still see you. So if you're a mom, you want to still make that present. If you're a dog mom, still post about your dog babies. If you love coffee or, avocados, like what we were talking about earlier, whatever the case is, you want people to be able to see who you are. Your page should be kind of considered as your magazine cover. And our business should just be little bits and pieces in that magazine cover. Do you want to touch base on their bio?
Yeah, so this is a very basic thing like she was talking about. It works as something you do. It's not who you are. So when you have your Instagram or your Facebook bio, when people get a glimpse of your page, think about what they're seeing. Do they click on your page and think, this girl's adding me because she wants to sell me stuff? Or are they thinking, this girl's probably adding me because we're in the same age group where we have these common interests, okay? So I wouldn't blast, I'm a Netflix distributor, not because you can't be proud of the business and the company that we represent, but you don't want people judging you before they've even gotten to know you. So give yourself an opportunity to share your life by getting them onto your page. And the only way to do that is to make sure that your bio and the presence that you have doesn't scream, I'm going to sell you products. So go clean up your bio. Again, it's okay to be proud, but make your bio about who you are, not what you do, about your interests and all of that. It's fine to be proud of your black, green, and bling life. Trust me, my blood is basically lime green. Like, I bleed for this company. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. However, my page is not black, green, and bling. I am me. And this is, again, just something that we do, something that we share, something that we like. So we're going to give you tips on posting and stuff to incorporate that. But the magazine thing that Tiffany talked about, sit down tonight and think about your table of contents for your magazine. Okay, It Works is going to be one part of your table of contents. There's going to be family that's part of your context. It might be church. It might be sports. It might be fitness. Whatever. Think of your 7 categories. That's how you're going to post. Okay, so when you're running dry of things to post about, you feel like you're talking all about the business. You can't think of any personal things. Go back to that table of contents and think, okay, what have I not talked about in a while? What do I love that I'm not posting about? Because that's what makes you a real person. And that's what makes people, especially with the longer you're in and the more you're working outside of your warm market, you're not talking to your close friends and family, the more they're going to relate to you as a person and not as a business. So the other little tip we had for you guys tonight, if you haven't seen our Linktree website, okay, we talk about it on the team page a little bit. Most of you know that we cannot send our website through Messenger on Instagram or on Facebook. Annoying, I know, whatever. It's been years. It's fine. We're all making money still. So here's the solution for you. If you don't want to make like a graphic that has your website, if you want to have something that someone can click on and go to your website, you're going to go to linktree.com and it's, I want to get this right. It's linktr.er. linktr.ee. That's going to take you to the website. It's really easy. It's free. There's an upgrade. You don't need it. It's free. And you're going to create your own buttons. So it's really cool. If you guys want to see mine, you can go to the linktr.ee/Alyssa Bowman. And I've created all these custom buttons for What the Fit Packs and Hair, Skin, and Nail. I even have a link to our wedding video that's on that Vimeo website. I have a link to my Facebook page. So it's not just links to my website, but you get to pick. And it's really simple, really user-friendly. But the nice thing is when you're talking to someone on Facebook or Instagram, you can literally send them this link tree. And you can say, click the top button or click the third button or click the button that says 90-day hair challenge, whatever you want to, and it makes it super simple. You can even rearrange the buttons if you want to right before someone's going to order. Like today I had someone that wanted a fit pack. I went into my Linktree account and made the fit packs the top button, and I sent it to her and I said, just click the top button. It'll take you right to the pack that you want, and then you can go to checkout. So it makes it super simple. They don't even end up on the main website unless you want them to. You can take them specifically to a product. So I actually prefer it now that we have that. I'd rather send them that than our actual website. Was there anything else, Tiffany, with just like the basic?
No, I think the rest of it actually goes into it a little bit deep.
Okay, perfect. Well, actually, I'll throw this out there. It might come up later, but when posting on any platform, you can post because you like the product. You can post because you're using the products. You don't have to always be selling something. Okay, for those of you that are worried about feeling salesy, this is your, escape. You can actually just talk about the products like you were having a fun Starbucks drink, or maybe you were shopping at the mall, or maybe you get those subscription boxes like Ipsy or Birchbox. A lot of you are already posting that type of thing on social media. So sometimes when you're drinking your keto coffee or you're having your greens or you just did a cleanse, you don't always have to be asking people to buy from you. You can truly say, oh my goodness, I love this product. I'm down 4 pounds in 3 days. This is insanity. The end. Because you don't have to say it's normally this much and now it's this much if you do this, and you can contact me, you can call me, and here's my website. You don't need to put all of the information out there. They only need to see it, and they will be curious. Eventually, after seeing it consistently enough, they will come to you, and you never even really had to sell anything on your Facebook page. I'm not saying that sometimes you shouldn't advertise that they can order the products from you, but I'm just saying you can switch up your posts. They don't always have to be looking for a product tester, need someone to try this out, looking for a 90-day hair challenge. You can mix up the way that you promote the products.
It creates that mystery. So
yeah.
even with the business, like you won't see me post, you know, I love being and it works, but you'll see me post, I love this business, because you want to keep the mystery so that people come to you.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to talk about the algorithm really quick. Some of you have no idea what that means or what it is, and to be honest, it changes all the time. So let me try to put it to you this way. Facebook and Instagram are owned by the same company. If you didn't know that, they're the same thing, just different apps. And they have a pattern for how you see things. And they have this basically robotic system that chooses what you're going to see in your newsfeed based on what they think you want to see. Okay, so that's why when you're on Facebook and on the right-hand side or you're scrolling through, you start seeing things that you've been searching on Google or Amazon, or you've been talking to people about on Facebook. They start to show you more of those things. So you need to understand the algorithm to be able to make high-quality posts. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. Okay, so a lot of you will notice that when you're scrolling through your friends, you know, your news feed, you'll probably see the same 10 to 12 people over and over. Those people that you're seeing over and over, they're most likely the same people that are seeing your stuff. But you probably have 200, 500, 3,000 friends that you are hardly ever seeing. And if you remember this while you're posting, think about if you're only seeing 10 to 12 people, think of how few people are actually seeing what you're posting. So when you get 2 likes on a photo, just know that most people didn't even see it. It's like maybe 10% of people on your friends list that actually see what you're posting. So that's why we always say consistency is way more important than perfection, because it's going to take them usually 6 to 12 times of seeing something to actually act on it. And if they're only seeing 1 out of maybe every 10 posts you make, think about that. It might take 60 posts for someone to order a cleanse because they've only seen it 6 times. I'm not saying that to discourage you. I'm just saying that you feel like you're bugging people, but most people are not even seeing what you're posting. So give yourself a little bit of break there, okay? So I'm going to give you a few tips for things that will hurt your algorithm, which will keep people from seeing your stuff. And then Tiffany's going to give you some tips for things that will boost your algorithm back up so that more people will see your stuff. So the first thing is copying and pasting, okay? You can follow anyone you want in this company. I wouldn't recommend following too many. You need to be seeing potentials in your feed, but you can follow Tiffany or me or Camille or anyone that's on this team that's a leader. You can follow them for inspiration. You can even copy and paste something into the notes in your phone or send it to yourself via Facebook message. You can even choose a save option, which we'll show you later. But copy and pasting word for word on Facebook or Instagram isn't your best bet. Okay, Facebook rewards originality. So if you're not being creative, if you're just stealing someone else's thoughts, it's basically like when you were in school, okay? They have copyright basically on that information. And the more the same thing is shared over and over, the more Facebook recognizes it and the more Facebook stops showing your post, which is unfair. I understand. It's really rude that they do that, but they're trying to reward people for being storytellers, for putting their own words on things, for sharing original content. So that's the first thing. Try not to copy and paste. At least change emojis. Make it sound like you. Change a few words here and there. It doesn't have to take all day, but don't just copy and paste. Take the few extra seconds. Using keywords Facebook will often pick up on. So that's why you guys will often see me avoiding saying free product. I might say, for $0 or something. Just free is a keyword. Loyal customer, BOGO, anything that looks like you're selling a product. So let's say the company has a BOGO promotion for wraps. If you start posting BOGO wraps all over your Facebook wall, Facebook picks up on it in a second. There are 100,000 It Works distributors that just found out there was BOGO, okay, for example. We don't have BOGO, so don't freak out and don't go post that. But if 100,000 people all go onto Facebook and start posting hashtag BOGO or, hey, BOGO was extended or there's a BOGO sale, Facebook picks up on that, okay? It's creepy. But try to avoid saying keywords like that. Just play around with your posts. And honestly, it makes you have to think a little bit more and it makes your post a little bit more creative. And then sharing from Instagram. I know a lot of you guys do that because it's so much faster. You post something on Instagram and you just share it to your Facebook page. Take the extra time and actually post it on Facebook and post it on Instagram. A lot of times what I post on Instagram is even just a little bit different than what I post on Facebook. And sometimes there's a lot of times that I post things on Facebook that I don't put on Instagram and vice versa, but you don't always want to be sharing back and forth. It doesn't have as good visibility as actually just posting it. Sometimes I'll even change the picture. I'll keep the same caption, but I'll change the photo that I use. Mix it up a little bit. Again, it just rewards you being creative and creating new content. Don't share memes and recipes and everything you can find on the internet. You don't have to share it because other people can see it in their newsfeed already, because we see it all the time, way too much. They're all over the place. So you don't have to share them. If you even want to watch them, okay. I would rather spend time looking at other things that are going to help me make money. But let's say you love looking at recipes, do it, but you don't have to share it. Or share it, like pin it on Pinterest or something off of your social media page. This is your business, so don't share other people's content to your page. And you don't want to distract your customers, and again, just hurt your algorithm. So, and then the last thing, and this has changed over the years, and this is good news for you guys, especially those of you that are really busy, don't overpost. It used to be, a couple of years ago in the business, it was like the more you post, the better. The more people will see your stuff. On Instagram, it was like post every hour because it's chronological. And if you don't post, it falls to the bottom and nobody's seeing it. So you'd post again just so that more people would see it. So thankfully for all of us, you can post a couple of times a day. And we'll go into the specifics when we break into Instagram and Facebook, but you don't have to post all the time, and you shouldn't post all the time. I usually have at least 2 hours between my posts, sometimes 3 or 4, sometimes 8. I don't give myself rules because it's all about quantity over quantity. Okay. And I'm just switching personal, business, products, personal, business. I always have some sort of pattern going on. So if you can do those things, that'll keep you from, they don't put you in like Facebook jail or Instagram jail for posting too much or doing those things. You will just get less visibility. And then it's not worth your time to post as much. So focus on quality over quantity. And then Tiffany's going to give you some good tips for boosting your algorithm and getting more people on your page.
So when you are scrolling, you want to scroll with intent. So I try to not scroll, but it's hard sometimes. You want to just see, what your friends and family are doing. So while you're doing that, be liking people's photos and commenting on some of them, because that is going to mean that you are growing relationships with them, and you're going to be seen in their profile or their feed, as well as they're going to be seen in your feed. So make sure that you are engaging with people. Another thing that is really key is to keep it personal. It goes back to the very beginning. Post personal photos. Don't forget who you are. Post your kids, even if it's a business post, post a personal photo with business words, because most likely, I can tell you right now, when I post a photo of Miles, some people may not necessarily even read the words, but as they're scrolling, they're liking his photo. So what that means is that they're boosting my algorithm, and they're helping my post get seen by more people because they're liking it. So the people that are interested in reading it, it's just going to hit so many more audiences. So make sure that you are posting and just being very personal with those, and posting personal pictures. Like, you could even use your kids' photos. You can use life happenings. We're moving. So that's another big thing that I'm trying to throw in with my posts. I'm talking about us moving because I know that it's going to get some likes. Engagement posts are really good too. So A good example is I need to find out, a good booster car seat. So instead of going to Google, I can go to Google Facebook, and it's going to get a lot of good reaction to it, a lot of good comments. So it's going to boost my algorithm. And you can do this all in between your business and your product post, but just keep it personal. Going live, I know how scary that is. Trust me, I am super, super shy. Talking in front of people makes me extremely nervous, and going live, knowing that people are going to be watching you, I get it. I totally do. But lives work, and we're not telling you have to do them all the time, but I can tell you that if I can do them, you can do them. And it's just, maybe once a week or maybe once every other week until you warm up. They can be about anything too. They don't necessarily need to be about the business or about a product. You can go live, if your kid's at a baseball game or something like that. I mean, it helps your algorithm. Another tip is checking in. If you are at a place where you can check in, a coffee shop, I don't know many people I guess you could post if you're checking in at Target, stuff like that. Checking in really helps your algorithm. And then using emotions. Alyssa, whenever we get to Facebook, if you don't know where the emotions are, she can show you. But at the very top of your post, you can actually put how you're feeling that day, and you can edit it and customize it however you want. And I know that sounds super silly, but that's just something that Facebook is doing right now, as well as when you are going to, this is another big tip too, when you're scrolling past someone's picture that like for example, I'm scrolling past Alyssa's. Instead of just liking it to help her algorithm, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a heart. So I'm going to love it or put a wow face, because that's just one big thing that helps each other's algorithm. But those are the biggest tips that will boost your algorithm and make your post get seen more.
I was going to say, like, anytime Facebook or Instagram comes out with a new feature of some sort, whether it's the emotion thing and then it was stories, anytime they let you do something new on your page, they reward you for doing those things, because they want people on Facebook to do those things for whatever reason. I don't know what their thought process is behind it, but anytime they give you a tool, if you'll take advantage of it, like we used to not have Facebook Live, you used to not be able to check in places. I mean, didn't have stories. We had Instagram stories, and we didn't have Facebook stories. And now we have Facebook stories. So anytime you see an option to do something new, try it, because Facebook is basically, they just have an ego, and they want you to use all the things that they get that they have out there for you. So, and then one other thing that I don't think you mentioned it, Tiffany, but another way to boost a certain post that you have made, and I know we just did this on the team page. We did the little, everyone shares a post and you all go comment on it. Respond to every single person that comments on a post that you make, because the more interaction going on a post, the longer it lingers. So that's why you'll see a lot of us will comment on each other's posts when we say, like, who wants to grow out their hair? We'll put an emoji and say, me, message me, or whatever. Sometimes we'll just say, I love this product, because we know that that's going to help that person's algorithm. It's going to help their post linger longer. So a lot of times Facebook bases what posts show up in people's feed based on how much people are liking it or loving it or commenting on it. So the more you comment back to people, the more comments that post has. Okay, and that's also another little side tip, in case I forget to say it later, is that anytime someone comments for more info, you're going to comment back to them, but you're also going to say, I'm going to message you. We don't answer questions in the comments, because we want other people to also say they're curious. And if you answer someone's question in the comments, that other person no longer has to ask for more info, because they can just look through the comments. So you want as many comments as possible on there. So I'm going to screen share really quick, and we're going to show you some different things on Facebook. And then here in a little bit, we're going to do the same thing on Instagram. So let me do this. I can't remember, Tiffany, did you have a couple things to share about Facebook, or is it mainly just me?
Just when you get to the, like, who to follow, location, okay, stuff like that.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. hold on, let me get out of these messages. I should just close my chat probably, but okay. So the first thing that I want to share with you, and a lot of you have seen this already, but how to find new friends, because a lot of people are confused. When do I start adding new friends and who do I add? The answer is as soon as possible, because eventually, this is a fact, eventually you will all run out of people at some point. Some of you might run out faster than others. Some of you have 12 Facebook friends. Some of you have 1,200. But you will be so glad that you have grown your network if you start doing it now when you don't need them, because by the time you do want to message them, you'll have already built some sort of relationship, and maybe they'll have already reached out to you. So you want to grow your network consistently. So there's a few things that set Facebook and Instagram apart. On Facebook, you really maybe want to add 10 friends a day max. Okay, and some of you are going to do less, some of you are going to do that per week, but it's different than Instagram in the fact that you don't want to add 100 people. Okay, that's not the way Facebook is set up. So this is a really easy tool. You're going to go to your page, you're going to click on friends, and then you're going to click here to find friends. When you go here on this left-hand side, this is gonna, well, I have a lot of friend requests, sorry, but it's gonna show you people that you might know. But on this right-hand side, you can actually filter to find friends. Oh, sorry, my new loyal just messaged me. Okay, so on this right-hand side, you can search for people. So let's say I wanna find people that I might know that live in my hometown. Okay, I grew up in a small town called Kemah outside of Houston. So here now on the left-hand side, these are all people I'm not friends with, but Facebook thinks I might know them, and they all have the same hometown as me, okay? Then you can get even more specific. Okay, they're from my hometown, but did they go to my high school? And then it's gonna show me another list of people. Okay, so you can filter it as much as you want. And the cool thing is, let's say I lived in Lubbock. No, let's say I live in Houston now, but I used to own a store in Lubbock. So let's say I want to find people in Lubbock. I can still search, even though I don't live there anymore. I can find people that I might not know, and there you go, people I might know in Lubbock. If you want to build a team in Egypt, we're not open there, but you could search a city in Egypt if you want. Wherever you want, you can find people, okay? You're going to notice that there's going to be more people listed when you keep it kind of broad and you keep it with kind of your area or your friends group. But you can do, like, obviously these people are all distributors, so I wouldn't say that. But let's say there is a girl, I'm going to use Tiffany as an example, wouldn't do this. Oh, her name's there. These would all be people that are friends with Tiffany that I might know. Okay, so you're not going to do that when you're looking for distributors. You're not going to look for friends of other distributors. But a perfect example is, let's say this girl would rock at it and you've messaged her for 2 years and she just will not respond. She has no interest, but she's still friends with you. You can grow your network by finding her friends of friends. Okay, so that would be one example of why you would use that. But you can do colleges, you can do employers. You know, one day I sat down and I went through some different hospitals that people might work at in Houston, because I heard a story of a nurse that was doing amazing. So I was like, oh, maybe I should find nurses, whatever you want to do. So there's a million filters there. And then Tiffany was going to tell you another way that she has been finding people.
So it's kind of the same concept, but for example, I'm moving to Lubbock. So my whole thing is I want to try to grow in Lubbock. So I'm trying to find, coffee shops in Lubbock, or, places, boutiques maybe around where the college is. And you can actually search those places in the search bar and see who checked in at those places. And then you can add people based off of who checked in at those places. So yeah, you could, like, if you wanted to do something like that, you could.
Like, let's see. So do you go to like the actual place?
Yeah.
And then you go to places?
You can go to the place, and then you can go to the button.
So go click here. If I was going to this coffee shop.
Mm-hmm. And then
Sorry, I'm getting, oh, weird. They have a little pop-up thing. I was like, someone messaged me. That's fun. Can I place an order? Can I see a menu?
So on my phone, though, it tells you who checked in at the place.
Oh,
Like up here, it tells you like how many like the page. But when you're on your phone, it'll tell you who checked in.
okay.
And so you and
Oh,
so
here we
you'll be
go.
able
Well, this
to,
is friends that have been there. Here we go. Friends.
okay.
So you want to
Yes.
find public posts, which are down here. I saw it.
Okay. There you go. And then you'll just go to the people that have checked in at that place and you scroll through their page, make sure that they're not in network marketing and add them. So that way you're still kind of targeting location, but maybe you're targeting, certain locations that are closer to where you may live or where you go to school or anything like that. So that's a great way to kind of reach outside your network.
It's a really good way for those of you that don't have local people to work with, that, like she was saying, like if you want to have local people to meet up with at a coffee shop, that's a good way. Find a coffee shop that's local to you and see who goes there already. Okay, I love it. The other thing that I was going to show y'all is like, this is my neighborhood group. I don't know if I'm allowed to show y'all this because you don't live in my neighborhood, but something that I did, and it was really easy from my phone. I haven't done it from my computer, but these are the members of the group. And so one day I kind of went through here and I didn't want to see friends. I went through all the members and I looked through to see who I had mutual friends with. And so I actually now have a couple of customers and 2 distributors that live in the neighborhood, just from, I've been interacting on the Facebook page, but also just by friending them. So, because I know if you're in the same group as someone and you send them a friend request, it actually says they are also a member of this group. So it's a really easy in, especially like on a neighborhood page, or if you're in a very specific niche group on Facebook, whenever you add someone from that group, it's going to tell them like, hey, we might not have any mutual friends, but we're both a part of this community. So that's something to think about too, another way to find friends. Okay, so something else that you are going to want to do if you want to make $1 million on social media and you want to have new potentials is you're going to clean up your newsfeed. And you might have to do this once a week. You might do it once a month, but you're going to scroll through your newsfeed and you are going to want to, here, you're going to click these 3 dots here. Okay, this is Tyler's aunt. So let's say, she's already a customer of mine. I still want to see her stuff, but this month, while I'm really pushing for a goal and I really want to interact with my potentials, I can actually snooze her for 30 days. I'm going to temporarily stop seeing her posts. And basically, Facebook replaces that with someone else. So the more you clean out your newsfeed, the more it's going to start showing you people that maybe you didn't even know you were friends with. It's crazy. Sometimes when I clean up my newsfeed, it ends up being a whole new group of people. So let's say like I snooze her. So it'll disappear for 30 days. I can always go to her page. She doesn't get a notification. I'm not blocking her, anything like that. But then, of course, you also have the unfollow option. So you can do that too. And then this is what I was talking about earlier with saved posts. So let's say Tiffany, I come across Tiffany's post in my newsfeed. It's a really good post and I want to remember it for later. You can actually save this post so you can go back and access it later. But unfollow or, unfriend, obviously, if there's someone you don't need to be friends with, in my opinion, they're taking the place of a potential person. And I know that a lot of you are on Facebook or you started a Facebook page because you wanted to stay connected with people that you love. You can still do that, but you kind of have to make a decision. Do I want to make a little bit of money on Facebook or do I want to make a whole lot of money on Facebook? Because you're going to still see those people that are important to you and you can still go to their page and you can just snooze them. But while you're really pushing, if you're running out of potentials, I highly encourage cleaning up this newsfeed. The other thing that I want to tell you guys is that you can use an option called See First. So I highly recommend having probably your diamond upline or me or Ashley, someone that is a leader above you, and even your sponsor if you want, having them as See First. So here's Mark Pentecost. He's our CEO. When I go to his page, you can see here, I've chosen the option to See First. So most people are going to be default or you're going to be unfollowing them, but you can put, I believe, 20 people on your See First list. So that means anytime he makes a new post, it is the literally I see it first. That's what it means. So I see it at the top of my newsfeed anytime I get into my app. Once I've seen it, then it just goes back with the rest of the post. But it means I never miss an announcement about a call. I always see if they're doing a live video. It's always first. Ashley's on there because she's my sponsor. She's our ambassador upline, so I see her stuff first. And Pam Souter, I see her stuff first. But those are the only 3. Besides, if you can have 20 people. So the other 17 people that I see first are my potentials, the people that I've been talking to, the people that are nervous, the people that haven't signed yet. So that way I can make sure that I'm interacting with them, because anytime they post, I'm seeing it first. So I can like it, I can comment on it, etc. So that see first tool is something that a lot of people don't utilize, but it's really, really helpful. Even if nothing else, just using it to see Mark and Pam stuff, to me, is worth it. So, okay, one other thing, 2 other really awesome things that you need to know. First thing is, when you are growing your Facebook list, if you want people to accept your Facebook list, or your requests, we already talked about cleaning up your bio. See, mine's like super short and sweet, doesn't say I work at It Works Global, none of that, okay? It's just me. But before I go send out friend requests, I'm going to think about what my page looks like to someone that is not in the business. And right now, if they looked at my page, they would be like, wow, this girl sells things, because I have a lot of It Works stuff on my page right now. So you can go through here and right under your name, you can choose to make things public, friends, etc. So you can change it public, private. So if I was going to friend people tonight, I would go through, make this friends only. I would go through and make this friends only. And then this one's a personal post, so that's fine. Okay, that would be friends only. This would be a personal post. And actually someone else tagged me in that, but et cetera, et cetera. Y'all understand? So you can choose what people see. They're going to be able to see it once they accept your friend request, but I don't want people not accepting my friend request because they think I'm going to spam them, because I don't message someone when they accept my friend request by any means. Like it might be weeks or months down the road before I even contact them. So I don't want them not to accept me just because if they think I'm adding them for some malicious reason or whatever. So that's one thing you need to know. And don't go back through all of your posts. Just make sure that you have a few personal posts visible. You don't have to go back through your last 3 years of posts. Just go through the last week or so. And then, okay, this is going to be really helpful for those of you that are new, that are like, I don't know how to word things, or I'm not sure what to say, or I haven't tried this yet. How do I explain it? What do I talk about? You can use this search box up here, just like Google. So you are going to search things like greens. I'm looking for a post. So again, just like Google, you're going to come here and you're going to click post. You can also do this from your phone. You're going to click post. Okay, so post from friends. So these are all people I'm friends with that have put greens in their status. So, if I wanted to steal Candace's, greens post, if I'm just looking for inspiration, there's a bunch of them. However, let's say there's a couple of people that you love to follow in the company. You love their style, like they're so much like you, and you just always think their posts are amazing. You can actually really specify this. So on this left-hand side, you can do post from, and you can choose a source. So if I want to find out what Tiffany has to say about greens, no pressure, Tiffany. All right. So here's some posts about greens. And same thing for Confianza wraps. I mean, search $99. There's a ton of good posts about starting this business. So you can filter it however you want to. I normally don't search public posts only because you never know what you're going to get. Like you could be following some crazy person in another country that doesn't know what they're talking about with greens, but find a few people that you trust, that you enjoy following, and get inspiration. Again, we're not just going to copy and paste, but you can copy, paste, edit it in your notes or in your Facebook, wherever, in your chat, and then you can post it. The nice thing about searching for post ideas this way is that you can see, like, this post from Tiffany is from June of last year. So if I use something like that, Facebook doesn't even remember. They're not worried about that post from June of 2017. They're worried about the things that keep being constantly copied and pasted right now. So I love that tool. I still use it, but if you're brand new, it's going to be a lifesaver for you, I swear. And then the one last thing I'm going to show you on Facebook, and then we've got the Instagram beast to tackle, is this is going to sound awful. You guys know my heart, but when I'm looking for potentials, I'm not looking for someone that already sells something. Okay. So you can search like, sorry, not sorry. I'm just going to throw a company out there. And then you can search posts from your friends. And now you know like who on your friends list might sell unique, or maybe they're like this girl that's just asking who sells unique. But now I'm like, okay, that girl's super wrapped up in unique. Like I've already scrolled and seen her name like 5 times. If I want to, I can either unfollow her, or I could unfriend her. So like right now I'm getting close to my friends max on Facebook. So this might be a way I clean out my friends list and make room for new potentials. Not because she might not ever order from me, but if I'm going to focus on signing distributors or bringing in new people that aren't already involved in a company, that's one way that you can find them. But specifically to unfollow them more than anything else, you don't necessarily I'm not saying unfriend every person that's in another company. I have friends that are in other companies. I'm just showing you like there are so many ways that you can use that search box. And you can also search Messenger, which is awesome. You can even just, I'm not going to pull up my Messenger because I have a lot of messages in my inbox, but you can go to messenger.com, or you can just open the Messenger. You can actually search keywords in your inbox. So you have to search it, and then you have to click search messages. If you just search it, it's not going to do very much. But then right underneath, click search messages, and it'll show you any message you have that has that keyword in it. So this is awesome specifically for people like me who were super unorganized their first like 3 years in the business. I was able to go back and search $99. Like how many people did I talk to that we got to that point where we talked about how much it was to start the business? And I was able to go back and, fill up my potentials list with people that maybe I had forgotten about. Or you can, whenever we have a cleanse sale or we have something, there's some sort of promotion, you can go back and search cleanse and figure out anyone you had a message with that had the word cleanse in it. So it's an easy, quick way to follow up with people. So I think that's, unless you have anything to add, Tiff, I think that was most of the Facebook.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. So let me stop that. Oops. I gotta figure out how to do it. There we go. Okay, so Instagram. All right. Do you want to start with a few things while I get the screen share ready? Or
yes. So the biggest question I get on just in general is who do I follow? Like how do I grow my network? To do that organically, we'll get into something different later when we go over apps, but to do that organically, you're going to search hashtags that relate to you. So for example, you won't see me searching hashtag clowns or hashtag movies because those are just not my things. And I don't need a bunch of people that follow clowns or a bunch of people that are like big movie gurus because that's not me. That's not Tiffany. And I'm not going to grow a relationship with those type of people. I'm just not going to. I need people that relate to me. So I'm going to search hashtag PCOS. I'm going to search hashtag infertility mom or IVF mom or coffee addict or toddler mom or boy mom life or anything like that that's going to relate to me, because that way I can find people that are similar to me. They're posting the same thing. And I'm not going to search, like hashtag stay at home mom or hashtag, work from home, or maybe even fit mom, something very generic that you could possibly find other network marketing people in. I'm going to target it a little bit more personal so that I can find people who are not in network marketing that will relate to me. And I'm going to go to their pages and make sure that they're not in network marketing. I'm going to like a couple of their photos if I'm able to and follow them. So that's how I'm going to grow based off of hashtags. You can also do the exact same thing on Instagram as far as location. So you can search, coffee shops, the exact same thing. If I'm searching, a coffee shop in Lubbock, or, for example, here we have the Palo Duro Canyon. I searched that for a while to see who checked in there. So anything like that, think of things that are around you that, or even places, if you're trying to target something specific, you can target Tampa, Florida, or it doesn't even matter. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your area, but you can type in a location to find people to follow that way. So that's my biggest 2 ways to follow organically.
Love it. So public or private, that's another popular question. Do you have your Instagram account public or private? I know we talked about this, but.
I have it private.
Perfect. So Tiffany and I, especially as you're growing a following, which I'm pretty much doing every day, I have found that keeping my account private always results in having more follow backs. People want to see who you are, what you're doing, why you're following them. And to me, that just works better. Again, not trying to hide what we do, but let's just say they scroll far enough and they see a cleanse post and they're like, nope, not doing it. Don't want to follow her. We might have 100 things in common, but whatever. Like, I don't want to be sold to. I don't want to follow a business page, whatever. But when you're private, they want to see it. And then they slowly will start to see parts of your life through their feed before they even realize who you are, that they're even following you. Okay. So we do private. The only really difference of having your account public is that when you check into locations, other people cannot see it. Like, they can't, when they go to that location, they can't see your photo. And then hashtags also won't work for you. You'll be able to find people that use hashtags, but they won't be able to find you based on the hashtags that you're using. To be honest, I don't use a lot of hashtags anyways. Most of the time, it's just out of humor. It's not actually like doing anything. It might just say like, I love my keto coffee, hashtag give me all of it, or something that doesn't even really make sense. But I don't use hashtags for people to seek me out. I'm just using them for fun. So that would be the only difference. You can play around with it a little bit. There's no harm in going back and forth. If you want to bounce around back and forth, like when we were on our honeymoon, I had my account public because I was checking in at all these different places, and my page didn't look salesy at all. Like, we were like hanging with lions and stuff. So I was like, I want my page to be public because I feel like I'd want to follow me. And so I kept my account public. But a lot of times what I'm posting on Instagram is about the business or about the products. So I just, again, don't want people to prejudge me. So that being said, something else you should know about Instagram, I'm going to screen share from my phone so you guys can see this. But you don't have to post as much on Instagram as you do on Facebook. I mean, truly, I post maybe once or twice a day, maybe. And sometimes I don't post at all. I don't think I've posted in 2 days because so much of the work that I'm doing is through my stories and through my messenger. Most of my success goes down in the DM or the inbox in the messenger. And so I want y'all to know that you don't have to stress over posting all the time, just quality over quantity. And here, let me screen share really quick. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so those are important. Okay, so we're going to teach you a few different things. The first thing is how to make a story on Instagram, because I get a lot of questions about this and how to make them fun and add all these different things. And so let me open here. So for those of you that don't know, the story option is going to be in this top left-hand corner where that little camera is. But first, I'm going to show you what my story looks like so I can show you a few things, okay? So that was what I just did. So these are from last night. I always try to do some personal stuff, some motivational stuff along with business. Okay, this is this morning. And then I have a poll, okay? So I'm going to show you how to make a poll like this, but I want to show you, hold on, let me go back to it. I'm going to show you how to see who responds to a poll because it doesn't help you to do a poll if you don't actually know who voted what. So to do that, you're going to click the bottom left-hand corner where it says seen by however many people. And so I can see, hey, thanks, Candace. You wanted to buy 4 samples for $12. I appreciate that. So there's a potential there. I'm trusting you guys because I'm just showing you this, okay? And 12 people said, I need this. So I can see all their names here so that I can reach out to them. You have to know that your polls expire in 24 hours and then they're gone. So you need to take a screenshot of that before the 24 hours. It'll also tell you how long ago you sent. So I posted this 11 hours ago. I can wait till tomorrow morning and then I can screen share it. Isn't that funny? Okay. So you'll want to screen share that so that you know who to message. I kind of just message them as I see them. So just in case I forget. But yeah. Okay. So let's create a poll. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is go to the story button. In the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to be able to see your photo, your camera roll. So, oh, I sent a thing earlier to Colleen. Okay, so I saved all of these fun, pretty backgrounds from Google. I went to Google and I searched pretty iPhone backgrounds, not anything original. And I just went through there because if you haven't noticed, your story is a different size than the photo your camera actually takes. It's actually the size of your screen. So you either have to screenshot something or you need to save something that's that size, or just be aware that when you post something to your story, it's going to zoom in. Okay. That's what people get really confused on that. And then their faces are like really big on the screen and stuff like that. So it's a different size. It's actually the size of your phone. But to add text, you use the top right-hand corner. So I'm going to make a poll so you guys can see. Would you like to get paid for using plant-based products? Reaching, whoops, clearly I thought that was going to autocorrect. Reaching fitness goals and posting on social media. Okay, so you can align it with that top left-hand button. I'm going to put it over to the left. You can change the color of the text by going through there. You can use that little A with the box around it to add a background if you want. And then you can also change the font by clicking that button that says Classic at the top. So you can see there's some different options. You can play around with that. Again, you can have backgrounds on some of them, but I'm just going to stick with this normal. I'm going to make it black. I'm going to put it here. So to size it, you can just take your thumbs, stretch it out or make it smaller, reposition it. And then you're going to use this little, I think it looks like a Post-it note with a smiley face on it. Yeah. And the poll option is on there, you'll see. And then I don't ask a question where it says ask a question. I leave that blank because you can't change the font and that's no fun. Can't change the size of it. That's no fun. So all you're going to do is change the yes or no if you want to change it. And so I'm going to say, heck yes. And I can't type. Oh, goodness. It's not letting me do that. Okay. Heck yes. And I'm going to say, tell me more. Sometimes I'll say no. Sometimes you can make up whatever you want to, but, and then you can reposition this however you want. You can make it big. You can make it small. I will let you know that if you put it here, you're going to get a lot of people that vote on accident, which is fine if that's what you're going for. If you just want to start a conversation with someone, they might accidentally click on it, but maybe you'll message them and maybe they'll be interested. If you don't want to mess with that, sometimes I'll move it up higher so that people actually have to go out of their way to press it. Still, sometimes people do it on accident. I'm not sure how their thumb reaches that high, but sometimes it happens. You can move it around. So I'm going to put this here. And then I'm going to save it right here. And then I'm going to add it to my story. And then I'm going to open my story again. I'm going to go back to my camera roll. I'm going to add that photo we just made. Okay, so since this is from my camera roll, that poll is no longer gonna work because it's in my camera roll. It's just a normal picture now, but I can add more text and say, yes, I'm serious. 300 to 2,000 a month from your phone. I'm literally just winging it and making this up as I go, but we're gonna make it, we'll do this. Actually, sorry, I'm a perfectionist and I have to have a capital I. Okay. Okay, so you can add more text like that. And then there's all sorts of fun things you can do in here, guys. You can add the time, you can add the temperature, which wouldn't really make sense for this post. You can add a location, you can add all these fun little emoji type things. You can also add a GIF, whatever you want to call it. So I could search dancing. Let's see what we got. All right, well, this one looks fun. So there you go. Now I'm gonna post it again. And I might even draw a little fun little arrow. Okay, so when you click this little pen in the top right-hand corner, you're gonna see that you can change the size of how big you want your brush to be. Okay, you're just painting basically. You can change the shape of it. You can actually make it spray paint so it looks like that. You can erase. You can do all sorts of things. So I'm just gonna do a little arrow and I'm gonna draw that. That was actually pretty perfect. I thought I was gonna have to erase, but I'm just gonna leave it. So there, and then I'm gonna click done, and then I'm gonna click add to my story. So now, when you go through my story, hold on, it takes a second to load usually. So give it a second. Still hates me. Hold on, y'all. I just want to show you, like, because a lot of you think that I have some special tool. I do exactly what you think I probably do. I post something, I save it, I add more text, I save it, I post it again, and I add more text. That's how I make it to where it looks like there's almost a video, but it's really just me uploading 3 or 4 of the same photo. Okay, so here we go. There's the poll, there's the picture, there's a recipe, there's the poll that they can actually click on, and then when they click it again, it'll do that. Okay? So is that it for stories, Tiffany? Did you have anything else? Oh,
how to add them to your like potential list, and like how to find people and utilize that to grow your list.
Perfect. Okay, so let me show you. So now Facebook has stories. I'm gonna be honest, I don't look at them. I've never looked at anyone's story before on Facebook, but apparently some people do, and a lot of people don't use Instagram. So I don't want to take the time to repost all of those things to my Facebook story. And I definitely don't want to make new stories for Facebook. That just, no, too much. So what you can do is you can go into your settings, this little, under how many people you're following, that little round button, and you can go to story settings. So right under account, photos of you, story settings, and you can have it automatically share your story to Facebook at the very bottom. So my Instagram story automatically goes over to Facebook, so I don't have to do that. I know we said we don't necessarily share things from Instagram to Facebook. When it comes to stories, right now it doesn't really make a difference because Facebook stories aren't utilized that much anyways, but it's good for Facebook to see you at least trying to use it. And on Facebook, you can also see who's looking at your stories. So recently I figured out that I can see people that I didn't know were watching stuff that I'm doing because they're looking at my story. Because when you post, you don't know who looks at it. You only see who likes it and comments on it. But with the stories, you can actually just see who's looking at it, which again is creepy because social media just is. But that's just what we do, okay? So, okay, how we find people. Okay, this is how you add people to your list. There's a couple of different ways, like Tiffany already said, how you find people to follow. The ways that I add people to my list, because I still have a hundreds list, y'all, that I add people to, that I message people from, And so one of the ways that I do that is going through my poll or my story and looking to see who's looking at my page. Because if I know they're like clicking through 5, 6, 7, 8 of my Instagram story photos, there's something up. They might not be ready to say they're interested, but clearly something about what I do is intriguing them if they're still looking at my story. So that's a good way. Go through the people that are looking at it. Go to their page. Are they someone you want to work with? I'm looking at the chat. If so, yeah, you can see Instagram. You can see people that are viewing both on Instagram and on Facebook. So if there's someone that you'd want to work with, add them to your list. Okay. The other way, I just realized it turned off. But that's okay. The other ways that I find people is going to people that liked my recent photos. I'll go through and see if there's anyone that I'm missing that I haven't picked up on yet, that I haven't messaged. And then the other way is I go to my page and I click on the people that I am following, the people that I have chosen to follow. And I'll go there and I'll just kind of swipe down a few times and get to the middle of that list because I know I've been following them for a little while. I'll go through one by one, just really quickly, look at their page. Are they someone I want to be following? Are they someone that would be a good potential? Are they already a potential? And based on that, I'll either choose to keep following them or unfollow them or add them to my hundreds list. And so when I decide to add someone to my hundreds list, I'll go to their page, I'll like 3 or 4 of their photos, and then I add them to my list. And then I'll go to the next person. And I'll try to screen share here again just so y'all can see. It can be a really quick thing. I know that sounds kind of overwhelming, but so I would go to the people I'm following here. It's going to take a second to load. But then I'll swipe down, again, go to the middle. I'll go to their page really quickly, just like 4 or 5 of their photos. Well, now it doesn't want to load. Okay, I'm not going to go that far. We'll just start here. Okay, I'm like, oh, okay, like, oh, wait. Nope, doesn't look, she just looks like she has a weight loss testimony. Doesn't look like she sells anything. Okay, so I'll scroll through there a little bit. I'm not going to message her right now. You can see I've already interacted on some of her stuff. So I've liked most of her stuff already. So she's probably already on my list, to be honest, because I can tell just that I've liked so many of her photos. But I would like 4, 5, 6 of her photos, maybe comment on one, add her to my list, and then at some point in the next week, 2 weeks, month, I'll come around to messaging her. I don't message people the first day that I see them, unless I'm just like, I can't wait a second longer. I've got to talk to this girl. But that's a way that you can add people to your list. People that vote on your polls, obviously, that's an easy way to add people to your list. But as far as how often I use my story, it's way different than how I post. I only post, like I said, this was yesterday morning, I guess. I post maybe once a day, every other day. My story, I'll pretty much post as much as I want to. If I have something to share, if I'm doing something fun, I want people to see my life, but I don't mind having something about the business, something about the products, having a poll, having a picture of my dogs. I mean, I'll have anywhere from 3 to 12 things in my story at once, because people have to choose to go look at it. It's not just something that shows up randomly in their feed. So, and once they clicked on it once, they are not going to see it again unless they go back to watch it. So it's not like a recurring thing. And so, and it disappears in 24 hours. So most of the time I have a poll in my story pretty much at all times. Again, about the business or about the products. Sometimes it's even about something random, but I'll have a poll in there, and sometimes I'll even have 2. Like maybe one's about to expire because it's close to the 24 hours, so I'll go ahead and put another one up there. Sometimes if one of them's not getting a lot of interaction or isn't getting very many votes, I'll take it down and I'll just put up something new. So play around with the polls, especially for those of you that are scared of like blowing up your news feed with all of this it works stuff, or you don't want to share a ton of products because you're trying to grow your following. Put the products in the story and make the page more personal about why you joined and sharing your story and stuff like that. So I would love to. I know we had some people jump off because I know this is long, and we still have some really good apps and tips for y'all with messaging and that kind of stuff. So if you found the business on social media, I would just be really curious Let's see how many people, hold on. My computer's taking a second. Let's see who's on here. Okay, there's not a lot of people with their videos on, but if you found the business on social media or eventually joined because of seeing it on social media, I would love for you guys to put that in the chat. Just like simply like, I saw it on social media, or I joined because of social media. Because what's crazy to me is that, and I didn't find the business from social media, which is crazy because that's how I've built almost my entire business, but that's not how I found out about it. But a lot of people find the business on social media and then they join and then they start posting in a totally different way than what actually attracted them to the business. So think about what actually made you join. Was it someone posting about, hey, it's $99? Was it someone talking about, you know, well, that's probably not a good example because some people do join for bonuses and stuff, but did you join because there was a really salesy graphic that had a bunch of words on it? Did you join because someone said, hey, try this? You probably joined because of a feeling that you had by someone's post. You probably didn't join because you wanted to sell things or you wanted to be in network marketing. Nobody joins for that. And if you're the 1% of people that do that, then that's amazing. But most people do not join for that. They join for the possibilities. They join for the friendships. They join for the fun. They join because they want something else. So just keep that in mind when you're posting. How do you want people to feel? What kind of people do you want to attract into your business? Don't just throw up "it works everywhere." Think of why you joined and key in on that and share that with people. Again, it goes back to being personal, but it also means being relatable. And it doesn't mean having a success story. It doesn't mean you have to talk about all this money you make or that you retired or that this and that, because people don't join for that. People join typically to make a little bit, to have a little bit of relief, to pay for their groceries. That's the kind of stuff that's relatable. So make sure that you're thinking about those things when you're actually sharing posts. And you probably didn't join for some weird black and green graphic. What made you probably join was a picture of someone with their kids or a picture of someone making wrap cash at, in the Walmart parking lot. Those are the kinds of things that probably made you finally jump in. So, okay, so we're going to go through messaging tips really quick, not conversations necessarily, because that's something that is so specific to who you're talking to. And you really need to use the team page and use your sponsor to talk through some of the conversation. But we want to talk about like who to message, how to message, what kinds of messages that you can send. Because like we said, a lot of work goes down in the inbox. Posting is just a way that we find people that might be interested. So Tiffany's gonna she's messaging Queen, so she's gonna give you lots of tips, and I'm just gonna kind of sit back and interject if need be.
Okay, I will tell y'all, first off, once you get your first 4 loyal customers, after that, every message that I send, I shouldn't say every, because 90% of the messages that I send, I'm going to lead with the business. And we'll tell you why in just a little bit of how you can always flip the script on that. But it's so much easier to open that conversation with, do you want to make money versus do you want to spend money? So that's a huge tip that I will tell y'all, to lead with the business. But after you get your first 4 customers, we want you to get your shopping spree for sure. As far as who to message, before I go into my messaging tips, when you are adding people to your social media, if you see someone that you're able to follow right away, and you just know in your heart that they would be amazing at this business, go ahead and like a couple of their photos, comment on one, and just send them what is called a no-risk message. A no-risk message basically is just something similar to the lines of, hey girl, you popped in my newsfeed today. I can't help but think how amazing you would truly be at this business. If you're ever interested in making, a couple $100, I truly would love to talk to you. Anywho, thank you for keeping my feed so positive and uplifting. I hope you have a great day. So you're ending it in a very positive manner. You're not asking them anything. You're just barely plugging the business. And most of the time they will come back and they will say, oh my goodness, thank you. You made my day. What do you do? Like, because you just gave them just a little bit of a teaser and now they want more information. Remember what we said about keeping everything a mystery. Make them ask you. So that's one good thing. I would not say don't ask everybody that you instantly follow. You want some people to follow you back. Go and engage with them for a little while and then message them. So you're in essence messaging people that are new followers that you're engaging with. That's how you're going to find the people to message. Some big messaging tips. And I'm going to kind of sound like I'm contradicting myself right here because I'm going to tell you don't judge, and then I'm going to tell you do judge. So follow me. Don't judge people in a way that you think that they would never do this business. So let's say you click on someone's profile, you think, oh my God, she would kill this business, but oh my gosh, she would not do this business. That's not fair for you to rob them of that opportunity. You never know what's going on in their life, and they may very well just say yes. So it's okay to be afraid to message someone that you think would be so good, but you also think that may not even consider it because you would be surprised. So don't judge people based off of that. And it goes the same way too of, if you're talking to someone about, don't judge if someone doesn't need to lose weight or whatever is going on, or about a product. Oh, their hair is beautiful. They would never want to try our hair, skin, and nails. You don't know. So don't judge people based off of that. Do judge when you're going through profiles. If you see a lot of cuss words, you basically, that's a good sign that they probably wouldn't be good at this business. If you see an Instagram that has maybe 5 photos, probably wouldn't message them. If you see somebody who only is sharing quotes and quotes only, probably wouldn't message them. So that's what I mean about, don't judge, but do judge. Be very careful, be picky with who you message, but don't rob someone of this opportunity that you think would be really good at this business. 90% of messages will not come from, or 90% of people that sign up will not come off of the very first message that you send them. You're going to need to follow up. And I think that that's where a lot of people get so scared that they're afraid they're going to bug people. So before I even get started with the next thing, just own up to bugging them. Everything I ever message when I'm following up with people is, I'm so sorry to bug you again. Hey girl, it's me. I sent one the other day because we've been going back and forth. I literally told her, hey girl, it's your everyday pest, laugh out loud. And I mean, she just laughs at it. She has a busy life, but just own up to it. It makes it so much more relatable. You don't come off as salesy. So own up to bugging people, follow up with people. Most people will either read your message, get distracted because of life, not respond. Some do ignore. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Some do ignore. And, some just need more information. So you may have to work with them for a while. So when you send 10 messages out, don't expect 10 yeses. I wouldn't even necessarily expect 1 yes out of 10 messages. You're going to need to send more quantity to get more information back from people. After about 3 to 4 no's or 3 to 4, messages where you're just really, that person's not even at the top of the fence where they're about hanging off, about to jump on this, like about to either sign up as a distributor or a loyal customer. That's where I normally flip the script. And what I mean by that is that's when I will say, hey girl, have you ever thought of, growing your hair out? I'm actually needing one more hair model. I think you would be great at it. And maybe we should get you started on hair, skin, and nails for 90 days. And then we can talk to you about maybe converting you over to becoming a distributor. Would you like to try that first? A lot of times, most of my loyal customers come to me as they were potential distributors first. So don't hang on to someone so long without trying to flip the script. Like Alyssa said, ask your sponsor if you need help with, answering. Try if you were messaging people and let's say you just sent the no risk message that I suggested, and people are coming back to you. Before you send a bajillion responses back, that could be word vomit. And by that, I mean just way too much information. Get with your sponsor, maybe type up what you would send it to your sponsor first and say, does this sound good? Be open to constructive criticism. That way, because that's the best way to grow. I mean, I remember when I first started, Nina helped me with wording everything so much. So be open to letting your sponsor help you with how they would word it so that we don't word vomit and we don't scare people off. Utilize your notes in your phone. So when your sponsor does give you a good message to send back, because 90% of the time you're going to come across that where you could use that message again, save those to your phone. Do you have anything on that? I have a couple more, but I didn't know if you wanted to talk about any of them.
One of the other tips that I like to give people, especially if you are a naturally like excited, fun person to talk to in person, like if you would prefer to talk to people in person, it's not always possible on social media, especially if it's on Instagram. If you don't have their number, you can't voice message them. Like Instagram is all just text. Facebook, you have the option to voice message, but you only get a minute, which is probably all you should be sending people. But a tip that I gave a girl the other day who was like, I'm good face to face, but I'm not great on social media. Like I don't know what to say. It comes out naturally if I say it. I told her to do talk to text. Most of you guys should have talk to text on your phone and just say exactly what you would say to that person. If they were sitting right in front of you, like, what are you feeling when you're reaching out to them? Because a lot of times when I reach out to people, it's like, hey girl, I am absolutely terrified to reach out to you right now, but if I think about it one more day, I'm going to kick myself if you ever join this with someone else. Like, have you ever thought about doing this with me? Like, it just depends on the person and how serious I am about wanting to work with them. But sometimes doing talk to text makes my messages feel less like scripts and more like me. So if you have trouble formulating messages to people, try that. It doesn't even have to be a voice message. It can just be talk to text. And then obviously read it before you send it, because we all know talk to text likes to change up some of the words, and then you end up sending things that don't make sense or are super inappropriate. But do talk to text if you want, and that'll help you. I mean, my advice truly when reaching out to people is say what you would say if you were just feeling so super brave and confident in yourself. What would you say to them? And then close your eyes and press send and just do it. I think those types of messages are more powerful than anything else. Like, you don't have to know very much to be successful. Like I did that. I went through that whole thing on the new distributor training the other week or last week, whenever that was. But you can sell people just based on your excitement. And one of the best ways to do that, in my opinion, is by letting them hear your voice or typing out exactly how you feel. So, once you go, Tiffany, I'll open my Instagram again and show them the message to you from my poll, and then how to unsend that whole thing.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Because that's what I was going to touch base on is, first off, the apology message. So let's say that you send someone a message, and because this happens to every single one of us, we go back through as we're doing follow-ups, and you see that, oh, wow, she saw my message and she didn't respond. She saw my message, she didn't respond. So my biggest tip, this has helped me so much, is to apologize for that message. And I know that sounds silly, but you would be so surprised how many people now feel the need to tell you why they did not reply to your very first message. And a lot of times they just, like I said earlier, they opened it and then life happened. They forgot. Maybe they did ignore it. I've had someone tell me, oh my goodness, I've gotten other messages before and I thought it was just spammy, but now you seem sincere. So tell me what you have. Like, tell me what what's going on. But when I say apology message, what I'm sending is something super simple. And all it says is, I hope that my message above did not bother you. I'm sorry if it did. Something along the lines of that, super short and simple, but going through and anyone that has seen your post, or not your post, your messages, just basically apologizing for it. At the end of the day, at least you find out if they are a no, you find out why they are a no. I'm a very strong believer that there's no no's. I'm sure every single one of y'all could put in the chat how many times that you told your upline no before you joined this business. That would be really interesting to see. So if you have your chat open, just type in there how many times roughly or how long you told your sponsor no, because that's very common within this business. So just be prepared for that. But when I get a no, at least I know how I can convert that no. If they tell me no, they were busy or they're too busy, great. So was I. I can now tell you my story. Or if they say, no, they don't have the money. Okay, let me tell you how we can figure out how to get you the money. Like, I can turn a no into anything. I will do my best to try at least. And so just know that when you get a no, it just means maybe later. But now, do you want to show them how you can unsend a message and then resend it?
Yes.
This is really helpful for, let's say you've sent this girl a message. This has happened to me just recently, actually. I had a great conversation going with this girl, and all of a sudden she just like stopped reading my messages. And I was like, what happened? Like, I don't understand. We were just conversating. Well, you can actually copy the text and then you can unsend it and then resend it so that it pops back in their news feed, which makes it extremely helpful. I've had a mom tell me before that, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry I didn't see your message, or my son had my phone, all kinds of stuff.
So if you go in here, so Tiffany voted on my poll. Thanks, Tiff. I am going to send her a message. I actually already typed it. A lot of times if I have a poll, I have a message that I just copy and paste and kind of tweak. So I already have one out here. Hey girl, oh my goodness, I just saw your response to my poll. I know sometimes people accidentally click on those, but I hope yours was on purpose. You'd be amazing at what I do. Are you interested in making some extra money part-time on social media? Okay, so there's one thing you can send. You can also copy or unsend it just by holding your thumb on the message. So unsend, she hasn't read it yet because you can tell when people read things on Instagram. So I can unsend it. Now it wasn't there. So if she goes to her chat, she will not see it. And just so you know, this does not work on Facebook. If you send a message, it's there. So don't try to, you can delete it, but that doesn't do the same thing. So it's just something fun that you can do to, if you sent something, like occasionally I've sent the wrong name, like I copied and pasted and I sent the wrong name and I'm like, oh my goodness, unsend like really quick before they see it, and then you can edit it and then resend it. So that's just like an extra little fun tool. And then again, you can also unsend and resend a new thing so they get the notification. And then also if Tiffany doesn't respond to my message tomorrow night, maybe the next day, I'll go back and say, hey, I'm so sorry if that message bugged you. I'm assuming you just accidentally voted on my poll. I still think you'd be amazing at this, but I'm really sorry if I bothered you. I hope you have a good week. Okay. You send the apology, and then Tiffany comes back with, oh my gosh, my son had my phone, or, I looked at your page and I saw what you do and I just don't think I could do that, or whatever her excuse is. And then you can battle back with it and be like, okay, like, tell me why you don't think you could do it, or whatever. Okay. So, I think that's all for messaging. I think, obviously we could talk about it all day, every day, because there's lots of things. But the main thing is just getting the conversation started and finding the people to message. Because after that, if you can do the brave part and you can plant the seed, we can help you with the rest of the conversation. But even if we help you with the whole conversation, there's still going to be people that don't sign the first day. I mean, I rarely have someone I talk to that day that signs up that night. It's usually a process. So just be willing to plant the seed and then be willing to ask for help. Know that you don't have to respond to people right away. You can give them a couple hours. You can even wait until the next day and just say, hey, sorry, yesterday was busy. they are busy. Your potentials are busy. They don't expect you to get back to them right away. So don't stress over it. I know you want to get back in a timely manner and you should try, but if you don't know what to say or you don't want to mess it up or you're nervous, it's your first conversation, just wait for your sponsor to help you. Okay, so let me stop screen sharing. I got to figure out how to do that. Okay, I guess I'm going to need a screen share. Okay, so I know it's going long, but I think a lot of you guys are going to want to hear this part because it's about the different apps that we use, and it will be kind of short and sweet for the first couple, and then we're going to show you one that's going to take a little bit longer. But Tiffany, why don't you talk about those first couple, and then I'll get my screen share ready again.
Okay, perfect. So I get asked a lot how I put an email in a picture, basically a pick and a pick, and that is PicsArt. I'm sure there are tons and tons of apps out there. It doesn't mean that any other ones are wrong. These are just the ones that we use. And PicsArt is the one that I use for layering photos. And why I do this is, let's say that I am cooking dinner and I helped a customer get started on hair, skin, and nails. It's so important to show your audience how simple this business truly is. What were you doing when you got that customer? Were you sitting in the middle of a car wash, getting your car washed? Were you cooking dinner? Were you in the bubble bath? Or were you maybe, your son was in the bath and you were sitting on the toilet while he was taking a bath? Something so simple, but it teaches your audience to put themselves in your shoes and go, wow, she just got paid while she helped bathe her child. Like, I think I can do that. So it's a really great tool to put your emails in a picture and share about that. Plus, if you have that person on social media, especially Facebook, you could say, just help Jenny get started on hair, skin, and nails. I'm so excited to see her, her hair transformation, whatever. So now you tag her in it and her newsfeed sees it too. So it's a great way to share what you're doing. Word swag is just text on photos. Most of the time, this is mainly just for announcing people, newbies, if you sign up, a new distributor, stuff like that. You're not going to see a whole crud ton of this on our news feed. We're not going to do that. If maybe if we have a BOGO promotion, like Alyssa mentioned earlier, we don't want to actually text it in our text because we don't want social media to catch on to the word BOGO. So maybe we take a really cute photo and point up and then use word swag to actually put the text where we're pointing. That's kind of a good way of how you could incorporate it to your post. And then Pick, Tap, Go is editing. It's just a way to get quality photos, to brighten your photos up, to make them eye-catching, because that's what you really want your whole feed to be. It goes back to that magazine cover that we talked about. You want your feed to be inviting and bright. So I will let Alyssa drop the mic on these game changer ones.
Okay. So the first one is going to be, when to post. Okay, so it looks just like this. It's a free app, and it's going to tell you on Instagram, well, apparently I need to post in 43 minutes. Okay, it tells you the best 3 times every day of the week for your following, just based on previous posts that you've done, based on when your followers are on Instagram, they're most likely to see it. The thing about, Facebook and Instagram is that posts will linger. Sometimes they'll get, more interaction as the day goes on, but this app formulates when your best time is probably going to be for the day. So I love that it only gives you 3 times, because that's like more than enough times through the day. Like, pick 1 or 2 of those times to post and kind of play around with it. But okay, so that's a fun app. It's free, when to post. So utilize that and just write it in your planner. Go ahead and look at the days of the week and when it says best to post, and put it on your planner, or set an alarm, or set a reminder in your calendar on your phone. So even if you're at work and you know that on Tuesdays it's good to post on your lunch break, then perfect. So use that app to come up with those times. And then the next one is going to be Followers Plus that we're going to talk about. and these are for Instagram, y'all. Followers Plus is going to help you unfollow people. And this is actually something I learned from Tiffany because I was using a different app to unfollow people. But this app will actually let you sort by how recently you followed people and before you unfollow them. So when it loads here in a second, and y'all, my Instagram, I didn't have an Instagram when I started. I feel like I need to say that sometimes when I share my Instagram. I had 0 followers when I started. All of the stuff that we're teaching you tonight is what made my following that number. So there are plenty of people that are successful on this team that have 500 to 1,000 followers. That just came from consistency over time and learning how to use some of these apps, especially the one we're about to show you next. So it's taking a second to load. Okay, so this is going to, again, you can do the free option. You don't have to do the upgrade, but you can see who's not following you back. Okay, 4 people have unfollowed me. Stab in the heart. Okay, you're going to see that. It's just a part of the business. Okay, don't even look at it. It doesn't matter. You're going to unfollow them later anyways. Okay, so you can look at the people that are not following you back. If I see any of your names, I'm going to call you out. But you can go to these 3 dots in the top right-hand corner and click sort by, and you can sort from the oldest to the newest. So these are going to be the people that I followed the longest ago, and I can unfollow them. I guess that you do.
Oh.
Is that when you, okay, so they might have to, it'll tell you who's not following you back. It's $1.99 a month, apparently. I just downloaded it today, or it's 83 cents a month if you want to do it for a year. But it also, wrong app. It'll also tell you who you need to unfollow. So that's one option. Again, these are things that we're not saying you need it to be successful. We're just saying you might want it and it might be a worth the investment in your business. Again, I always hate telling people like, hey, do these things for your business because it's $5 or it's $10 or whatever, but I wouldn't be sharing it if I didn't think it was worth it for the people that really want to build on Instagram. So there are other apps to unfollow people. If you're more advanced for Instagram and maybe you're really working on your following over the next couple months, it would be worth it. You might not understand it now, but to be able to sort people from oldest to newest really is helpful when you're unfollowing people. So you're not just following someone this morning and then unfollowing them this afternoon. Okay, so that's why you would want the upgrade on this. And again, do the 7-day trial if you want to, and then if it's worth it to you, spend the $2. So especially for people that are working on Instagram, it's good. You can see if people blocked you. That'll stink, but we're giving you a heads up. If you download this app, you're going to be able to see if people block you, okay? And there's a million reasons that people block. There's going to be other distributors that block you because they think that you're going to steal their friends or whatever. Like, you never know why people block you, and you can't see the people that block you. You can just see if you've been blocked. So I don't know if that makes it better for y'all, but it doesn't bother me anymore. Y'all, like, people unfollow you. People aren't going to get it. People don't understand. It's just a part of the business. Just like some people aren't going to respond. Some people aren't going to order from you. It's the same thing. So the last app we want to talk about is Captivate. And I kind of love me some Captivate. So it's right here. This is the app that you get. Hold on, I got to log in. This is an app that is free for 50 actions, which is not going to be enough. And it's $5 for one upgrade, and it's $10 for the ultimate upgrade. It's just a one-time thing. It's not a monthly commitment, but to me, it really is worth it. And this is one of those things that I was scared about being overwhelming. But if you are really, really busy and you want to build on Instagram, to me, this is worth every penny for you if you will set it up and learn how to use it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. This is a way to follow people, okay? Rather than just organically going in, finding people that you might know or finding people that you might have stuff in common with, you can still kind of do that. But this is a faster way to do it and to do it all day long because Instagram actually has a max. You can follow about 40 people an hour. And that's it. it'll look like you can follow more than that. It'll look like it'll let you follow 500 people, and you'll go back to some of those pages and it actually removes that you're following them. Like it takes it back. It puts a max on it. So don't be fooled. It lets you follow about 40. But the cool thing about this is that you can follow as many people as you want, and the Captivate app itself will actually follow people for you. So I'm going to just really quickly show you what I mean. So let's say I'm going to search, let's see, what was that one that we thought of? Gypsy. I'm going to find a cute like boutique that probably has female followers. What was it called again, Tiffany? Gypsy, Rustic Gypsy.
Yeah, Rustic Gypsy.
Okay, so we're going to go find this cute little boutique. Okay, so they're going to have mostly female followers. You're going to go to their page, and you're going to click on the likes of their most recent picture or one of their pictures. And you're going to go through here, and again, this sounds like kind of judgmental or whatever. I typically recruit females around my age group. So I'm going to go through here, and I'm not going to look at their pages. I'm just going to base it off their photo. So I'm looking for people that are not a business, that are probably female, and I'm doing it quickly. So you can do quick select at the bottom, and you can actually select all. So if I do that, it's going to select all 29 people that liked that photo. But then really quickly, I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to unfollow business pages, because I'm not really, or at least what looks like business pages, or anyone that has like an animal or a plant as their picture. That's usually not my person. So, okay, so it's 25 people selected, and then I'm going to go to actions. I'm going to click follow. Okay, so here's the difference between the $5 and the $10 upgrade for this app. If you have the $5, you're going to add it to your local queue. This means you're going to have a compiled list of everyone you want to follow, and every hour you can go in and you can follow 40 more people, okay? Or you can have the cloud queue, and it's $10, and the cloud queue is going to follow someone for you every 2 minutes all day long. So you can actually follow up to 720 people in one day by using the cloud queue. And so the cloud queue is what I use. So I'm going to add them to the cloud queue, but then I'm going to I'm going to add them to my local queue so I can show you something else that you can do if you do the $5 app. So adding to my local queue. I'm going to go back out to the beginning. So they have a discover page, just like you have an explore page on Instagram. You can search for users here. You can also see the people you're following. Okay, so there's everyone that I'm following. And then you can go into this settings. Okay, so on settings, you'll see local actions. This is where those people that I just chose to follow, they're in this local queue. So Captivate's not going to do anything until I tell Captivate to do something. So you'll go to actions in the top right-hand corner, and you'll click execute local actions or cancel local actions. Okay, and if I do execute, it's going to go ahead and follow all 25 of those people right now, because I only have 25 people. It'll do a max of 40. So that's one thing. But let's say you want to get more out of it, or maybe you're busy all day long and you don't have time like every couple of hours to go follow 40 people from your queue. Every night before you go to bed, you can put it on night mode. Okay, when you put it on night mode, it has to be the last thing up on your phone. You can't go answer a text message and Captivate won't go. It's got to be up on your phone, and your phone can go to sleep, but it has to be up running or it will not go. So night mode looks like this. It'll do one action every 90 seconds. This was just the default. So you don't want to do more than that. You don't want it to do anything crazy. So I have it set to one action every 90 seconds. There's a random delay every 20 seconds. So Instagram doesn't think I'm some robot. And then you'll click start. And it'll have these little things that float across the screen like we're dreaming. And you'll see like down at the bottom, executed actions 1. And then about another minute and a half or so, another action will take place. Okay. So you can do that all night. It'll usually, depending on how much you sleep, maybe 150 to 300 people for our little sleep to our 10 hours of sleep people. So night mode is a good way to utilize that. If you have the $5. You can always upgrade for another $5 and do the cloud queue, which is here. I might not have anyone in my cloud queue, which means I need to add people. Let's see. No. Okay. So I still have people in my cloud. The cool thing is you can go to the activity log and look at all day long. I haven't been doing anything, but Captivate has been doing all of that. Following people, unfollowing people. Captivate can also unfollow people. So if you don't do followers plus, you can always unfollow people. So how you're going to do that is you're going to go to following. You're going to go to quick select. You're going to click the red advanced quick select at the bottom. And then you can select non-followers. I don't really still understand ghost followers, but I know what it means, but I don't understand who shows up when I do it, so I don't mess with it. So select non-followers, select inactive users. You can select users without profile photo. I usually don't have very many of those. So I normally do select inactive or select non-followers here. It's going to select all of those people, and you can choose to action, unfollow, and you can add those to your queue. So every 2 minutes, your cloud will either follow or unfollow people depending on what you tell it to do. So, but I will say, if you look at mine right now in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see that there's 200 people loaded. I'm following over 6,000 people on Instagram. So if I click quick select, advanced quick select, select non-followers, it's only going to show people that aren't following me in those 200. So if you want to see every single person that is not following you back, you're going to click this top left-hand corner. You're going to load all users. I'm not going to do it because it takes a while, y'all. It's slow, but it'll load all 6,000 people, and then you're going to select inactive users or select non-followers, and that's going to take a long time for it to figure out who's all not following you back. It'll select them all, and then you can choose to unfollow them. So it just does a lot of the tedious stuff that when I used to build on Instagram and I used to follow all the people normally and I used to have to go find who wasn't following me and unfollow them and all of that, this just does a lot of it for you. So the main thing you have to do on Captivate is sit down and add a bunch of people to that queue so that it's working for you. Because if you don't put anything there, it doesn't do anything. And if it's doing 720 actions a day, then you got to have, I usually do 1,500 at a time, because here's the deal. Most of those people aren't going to follow me back. So I'm just going to unfollow them in a few days anyways, but I'm going to give everyone a day or two to follow me back. So someone asked, do you batch follow or hand pick usually? I usually hand pick, but it depends on where I'm finding the people from, because that Gypsy boutique thing, which I guess I shouldn't have actually followed them. That was your idea, Tiffany. I don't even know where that store is or anything, but I could actually cancel those. But anyways, it depends on who it is. Most of the time, I quickly go through and pick females, because a lot of times if I'm let me go to, okay, Katie's on here right now. Let me go to her page. She's probably going to have a mixture of girls and guys that like her stuff. Most people that are in college, early adults, it's a good mixture of males and females. And because I'm not specifically targeting males, I really quickly go through and try to pick mainly females. Sometimes photographers sneak in, and sometimes I follow some guys, but I try to go through and kind of hand pick, again, unless it's a page that has a lot of female followers, like a boutique or maybe a female celebrity or a makeup line. Those are all going to have mainly female followers anyways. So just out of convenience sake, you can just select all and add to your queue. Is there anything else with Captivate you want me to share? Or does anyone have any other questions?
I think that was it.
Okay. So, I guess one other thing, when I said that you can select inactive users, that means they've been inactive on Instagram, and you can change what inactive means to you. So you can I used to have it as 90 days. If someone hasn't been on Instagram in 90 days, Captivate's going to tell me and I'm going to unfollow them. But right now I have it on 30 days because I really wanted to decrease the amount of people I could follow. Or decrease the number of people I was following, because Instagram only lets you follow 7,500, and you want to kind of keep your numbers balanced. So of course I'm fine now, but for a while when I was building up my following, I didn't want to have 1,000 followers and be following 7,000. Because when people see that, they kind of automatically assume, like, why is this person trying to build their following? Like, what do they do? What do they sell? And so I try to keep it somewhat balanced. I might go like 1,000 over how many followers I have, but then I unfollow. I don't know if that makes sense. So I just try to keep that ratio balanced. And as you get more followers, that number increases. But so I did select inactive users 30 days. But, okay, what about the people you follow? They're your friends or your family, or you love following them. Maybe it's a celebrity that you still want to see their stuff, or someone motivational, but they don't follow you back. You can find that person. So go to search. So I'm going to go to Tiffany's page. And you can click actions in the top right-hand side, and you can add user to your whitelist. Anyone on your whitelist, no matter what, you're not going to unfollow them. Captivate's not going to unfollow them unless you remove them from your whitelist. So that's just kind of like their pass. They escape. Anything you do on Captivate escapes Tiffany, because I want to make sure I'm always following her. So that's one way around that, because I know we don't want to unfollow our best friend or whatever, even though she only posts every 4 months. That's your way around that. So I think that's it for Captivate. I know, I mean, seriously, y'all, we've been on here for almost 2 hours, and there's still probably things we could have explained better or more, or things that we could give you, but I feel like that was everything. And just finding ways to incorporate that for us is what we do. And it actually takes work off of our plate to implement some of those things. Like, yeah, we might edit photos more than you, or we might make more elaborate stories than you, but now you know how to do all those things. And as you get better at the stories, you can make them more fun or more elaborate, or, you know, there's more pages to it or whatever. But just learning how to do them is the important thing. And you can come back to this video whenever you want, and you can start, okay, now I'm going to start using that Captivate app. Okay, now I'm going to, what was that word flag thing they talked about? And you can come back and you can start implementing those things into your business. But just know it's there, and know that it might end up making your business easier and run more smoothly if you can actually learn to do it. Like, if you can learn to use Captivate, that takes one more thing off your daily to-do list on Instagram. You no longer have to follow 40 people every hour. And to me, that frees up 20 minutes or so where I can message people, because that's where my income comes from, is from actually building my hundreds list and then contacting my hundreds list. So this was not meant to overwhelm or confuse or make you guys feel like you're doing things wrong, because this is just all stuff we've learned, and we wanted to share with the newbies, but we also wanted to share with those of you that have been in longer and maybe aren't seeing the results you want to anymore, or maybe you're working with a network you don't know as well anymore, or you don't know how to grow your network more than where it's at. But trust me, you will be so thankful if you just start now. And use Captivate if you want, because then you don't have to think about it. But even if it's once or twice a day, like implementing these small daily habits and learning how to really share your story and be personal. You could share one post this week that's personal, that you take time to write out all the reasons you almost didn't join and all the reasons you did and why you love it so much and why you're so excited. And you could get more from that one post than posting 20 times that aren't thoughtful, that are copy and paste, that are green and black, just words everywhere. Like, it's better. Again, I feel like we've said this a lot when it comes to growing your network, when it comes to sending out, well, not messages necessarily, when it comes to posting, when it comes to sharing, doing polls, all of that stuff, growing your network, quality is better than quantity. Okay. Yes, you're going to have to follow a bunch of people to get people to follow you back. You're going to have to message a ton of people to get a few people to sign up. But when it comes to posting and actually doing that kind of stuff on social media, it'd be way better for you to spend less time posting and more time actually reaching out to people. So, okay, that was so much information, but I'm excited. I hope it was helpful for you guys. I'm going to stop screen sharing, and you guys can continue to ask questions. We'll sit on here for a few minutes.